In the heart of ancient Babylon, sex wasn't sin, it was worship. In the towering temple of Ishtar, priestesses performed sacred rites that would scandalize modern religions. This is the story of when sexuality was divine and the gods demanded pleasure as prayer.
E la tua benevolenza continui sempre a prodigare abbondanza e
This film examines ancient religious practices through historical and archaeological evidence. It presents mature themes in their proper cultural and historical context. To understand sacred prostitution, you must understand Ishtar. She wasn't just a fertility goddess. She controlled war, politics, and sexual power. Her priestesses embodied this divine authority, making their sexual rituals acts of immense spiritual significance. The most important ritual was Hieros Gamos, the sacred marriage. Once a year, the high priestess would embody Ishtar and have ritual sex with the king, who represented the god Dumuzi. This act was believed to ensure the land's fertility and the kingdom's stability. The temple maintained detailed records. There were different classes of priestesses. Some were celibate, some performed ritual sex, and some served as sacred prostitutes for worshippers seeking Ishtar's blessings. For ordinary Babylonians, visiting Ishtar's temple was both spiritual duty and sexual initiation. Men would bring offerings, then be paired with a priestess for ritual sex, an act believed to transfer divine blessing. The temples functioned as economic powerhouses. Offerings from ritual sex funded social services, maintained the infrastructure, and made the temple one of the ancient world's wealthiest institutions. The Greek historian Herodotus described every Babylonian woman having to serve as temple prostitute once in her life. While likely exaggerated, it reveals how shocking and fascinating these practices were to outsiders. Babylon wasn't unique. From India's temple dancers to Corinth's sacred prostitutes, many ancient cultures saw ritual sex as connecting humanity to the divine. The modern separation between sexuality and spirituality is relatively new. In agricultural societies, human fertility mirrored the land's fertility. Sexual rituals weren't decadent. They were practical magic to ensure crops, animals, and people would multiply. As cultures changed, so did the goddess. Ishtar became Aphrodite, then Venus, each iteration losing some of the raw sexual power, becoming gradually sanitized for new cultural norms. The end came with monotheism. Religions like Judaism and Christianity separated divinity from sexuality, recasting temple priestesses not as holy women, but as harlots and sinners. As new religions dominated, the temples of Ishtar were abandoned, converted, or destroyed. The cuneiform tablets were buried for millennia, waiting to tell their story. Today, scholars debate whether sacred prostitution empowered women in a patriarchal society or was ultimately another form of exploitation. The truth likely lies somewhere in between. The sacred prostitutes of Babylon challenge our simplest assumptions about religion, power, and sexuality. They remind us that across thousands of years and countless cultures, humanity has always sought to connect the most powerful forces we experience, the divine and the desires that create life itself. How do you think ancient views of sexuality compare to modern attitudes? Share your perspective in the comments. For more explorations of history's forgotten truths, subscribe now.